Hi, it's Cassie, and I'm here to do a little bit of a 2023 wrap up. It's been a hell of a year, like hellish. It's probably been the hardest year I've had in a long time, and I felt a lot like I did nothing, and failed at so many of the things I set up for myself to do. So we're just going to not worry about what my goals were at the start of the year and focus on what I did actually do. I made a list because otherwise I'm going to forget things. I've probably still forgotten things because brain fog, fibro, chronic fatigue, just things don't stick in my head that well. But anyway, these are the things that I did manage to do this year. I had one short story out in an anthology, and I think we were able to donate $7,000 to a no-kill shelter, which was pretty awesome. I had one novella out in Monsters in Love, Lost in the Forest? Dark? Whoop. Cats. That was the third one in a set of novellas, and I'm working on getting those all ready for individual release next year. That was the last of the anthologies of Monsters in Love that I'm participating in at the moment. I really love doing them. The other writers and stuff are great, and I loved getting the royalties, but it felt like they were taking up a lot of my time, and I wasn't able to kind of do as much other stuff because there was always another Monsters in Love deadline coming up. The third and final thing I published in 2023 was How the Marquis Found His Meow, which was to date my most successful release ever, even including my traditional published book. I had financially successful anyway. I had 156 pre-orders, which was by far the most I've ever had since it was published back at the end of March, I think it was. I've sold 322 ebooks, 19 print, and had over 250,000 page reads, which is really good for me. The next closest book that's not anywhere near that is only 100,000, so you can see by comparison how much of a difference there in those page reads that there is. On top of that, the horror anthology I edited a little while ago, Death in the Mouth, won an Australian Shadow Awards for Best Edited Work, and I got this hefty statue, which I swear you could knock someone out with it. I've always wanted one, so I'm stoked that we have one, and it was really, really awesome to send out an email to all the authors and all the artists involved in that project to tell them that they were winners too. So that was fantastic. We also successfully kickstarted volume 2, so we get to do it all over again. We've read it was almost 300 submissions, I think, and we've got a stellar lineup of 20 stories that we're working through the editing process, and the artists have their assignments, and are waiting on. I've seen some of the art, and oh my god, it's so good. So I'm excited to see how that all comes together, and that'll come out next year. I also mentored 3 authors this year. They've all worked really hard on honing their craft and improving their books, and one of them landed an agent, which was pretty awesome, and my mentee from last year has her book that we worked on coming out from a publisher next year, which is really, really cool. I also was a selector for an award, a New Zealand award. Hello, Peanut. She's always just knocking everything around. Can I say hello? This is my eldest kitty cat. Yes, I know. You need to get off my desk. She likes to go behind it and eat my fairy lights. She's a rat bag like that. Yeah, which was really cool. I'd never been asked to select for an award before, which was neat. Oh, and I also got to blurb a book, which was cool, so that was neat. I'm bound to have forgotten something because I do, but it's honestly been really interesting to kind of reflect on the fact that I felt like it was my worst ever year as a writer, but by other metrics it was also my most successful year. So sometimes these things don't match up, and sometimes they do. Are you hopping down now? Goodbye. Despite the fact I felt like nothing was going my way and I was not getting anything done, like I was just spinning my wheels and I was beating myself up constantly, I only, you know, I put out one book, but I still did better than I have in all the previous years combined, which is quite astounding and kind of shows me that I don't need to try and compete with those people who are putting out a book a month or a book every 2 months or whatever. I had lots of success and I helped facilitate success for others as well, and that's pretty cool. I did good. I just felt terrible about it. So I think that comes down to the whole mental health stuff that we've been struggling with. So let's get into that. Someone incredibly close to me has been struggling a lot this year. In fact, more than one someone. It's been a hard year for a lot of people. But it's been a constant, like daily, always present, needing to be, wanting to be there to support this person through their mental health stuff. And I'm really understanding of that because I have my own mental health stuff as well. But there's no denying that it has been hard and it's impacted the whole family. So we've all been struggling, and as the mama, I'm the one kind of holding everything together and trying to make everything work for everyone. Most of us have had therapy at some point this year, which is new, but we've been trying to process what's going on, and it's a hard thing. So we've just kind of been doing the best and using the resources that we can get a hold of. I think that despite how hard it's been, it's made us stronger as individuals and hopefully more compassionate as well. But you know, it also really highlighted some things for me. We're definitely not out of the woods yet, because that's not how mental health works. But I am hopeful that 2024 is going to be a better year, a little bit lighter than this year was, all going well. That's all kind of impacted me so much that I've barely written for the last 6 months. At least I feel like I've barely written. I started the book that I'm almost finished now, and normally it would only take me a couple of months to write, but almost 6 months later, or maybe even 6 whole months later, and I'm not quite done my revised draft, and that's stressing me out. But I mean, when I'm writing, it's damn good. Like it's a really good book. It's nice to know I can still do that, even if it's a little bit slower than I would like it to be. I just haven't had the energy or the ability, and I've spent a lot of time beating myself up and wondering whether I'm done or whether I'm ever going to be able to do the things that I want to do again, which is all quite familiar because the same kind of stuff happened when I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia. So it's just been hard. Yeah. I was reminded though that I need to put my oxygen mask on before I put other people's on. I have to look after myself. No one else is going to do that for me. Yes, people want to help and they want to be there for me, but I'm the one who has to put in most of the work. So I have been working really hard to kind of turn things around there. I have my own trauma therapy, which is great. I upped my medication, which has made a difference. I participated in this amazing group that helped me to see where I needed to put in firmer boundaries and how I needed to start taking care of myself. I spent some time connecting with what I actually need, what my needs are, because the reality is I'd shoved them so far down I didn't even know what they were anymore. And I think I did that right back when I was a kid, because growing up we were quite poor and I hated the way I felt when my parents were sad that they couldn't get me something that I wanted. So I just kind of rammed that stuff down, and still unpacking that many decades later. No, I'm not that old. I'm turned 43 the other week, so yes. Anyway, I got to the point I didn't even acknowledge what it was that I need anymore. So, you know, if I pretend they don't exist, then I don't have to spare any time towards them, and I don't need to burden anyone else with them either. So when I reflect on that, it's kind of depressing. It's pretty sad, right? Anyway, we're changing that now. One example of this is my need for a big dog. I had said for years that after our small dog died, we would not be getting another one. She's still alive, just so you know. She's okay. She's getting on, but she's still here. My middle kid had declared that actually I needed a big dog. and about 5 months ago they petitioned for a pup to train as an emotional support dog. They had like a slideshow and costs and pros and cons and all that kind of stuff, because they are really great with presenting that kind of information. I love that about them. And despite the fact that I was nervous about it and that my husband, I was sure, would say no, he said yes, and we got a puppy. Get scruffy. Oh, hello.
Your camera makes it look like a giant. You zoomed in?
No. It wasn't until we got her home and I could shove my nose in her fur and hold her that I realised that my kid had been right all along. I needed a big dog. I cried when I finally accepted the truth of it, and Harlow is every bit my emotional support dog as she is the kids. My last big dog died of cancer when she was only 7. She was a Rhodesian Ridgeback, and she was my everything, my pack, my saviour, my best friend. Carly will always have a place in my heart, but Harlow's there now too, and she's melting into all the cracks that Carly left behind. I do love Lulu, I promise. She's probably more pampered now than she's ever been before to try and avoid jealousy, but I'm a big dog girl at heart, and that heart is full again. Yeah, anyway, I'm not going to go into all the things that I've realised that I need. That is for another video at another time. It's Christmas Eve here today. It's pouring down. Well, not so much now, but it's very drizzly and misty. When Harlow and I went on our walk this morning, we got thoroughly drenched, but at least it took some of the humidity out of the air. Christmas is pretty quiet this year. We're not a super big celebratory family of that, but we'll be catching up with family tomorrow, and I'll try and take a few clips to add in, maybe some shorts or something, just if there's a snippet of Kiwi Christmas that you might like to see. Though it's not feeling very Kiwi because I can't be at the beach, so yeah, that's normally our go-to. I just wanted to wrap up 2023. It has been a huge year, a hard year, but also a really important year for learning and growth, and I'm looking forward to coming back in 2024 with some goals and hopes and plans, and sharing all those things with you. So yeah, I've probably forgotten stuff because that's just how my year has rolled, but I am focused on the future and discovering my needs, working towards fulfilling them, and making leaps and bounds when it comes to writing, publishing and home life. I am here for the future. So I hope you have a wonderful festive season, whatever you celebrate, and I'll see you in 2024.